Hello, Waifu Belector here, the only fair human on Earth, back with another look at the gaming world. This time we're headed over to the PlayStation side of things to have a little discussion, specifically about a game that I'm very much excited for, Astro Bot, because I think Astro Bot is going to be more pivotal to the future of PlayStation than we currently realize. So let's get into it. Let's have this quick little discussion. But before that, please remember to like the video if you end up enjoying, and consider subscribing when it's all said and done. Alright though, let's get into it. So for those who don't remember, Astro Bot is an upcoming PlayStation exclusive 3D platformer featuring PlayStation's not mascot, the titular Astro Bot. I say not mascot because although Astro has been used to represent PlayStation since as far back as 2013, those appearances are sporadic and unceremonious. Astro had a game back in 2018 called Astro Bot Rescue Mission, but it was exclusive to the niche medium of VR. Then with the launch of the PS5 in 2020, everyone got the free PS5 pack-in game, Astro's Playroom. It was a traditional 3D platformer, but it was really short because it was a free game that came with the PS5. After playing it, lots of people, including myself, felt that it was so well executed that it ought to have a full-on sequel. Fast forward 4 years later, and that's exactly what we're getting. We're now set for Astro Bot to release later this year in September 2024, but why does this matter? Why isn't it just another game? Well, because PlayStation is trying something that they haven't in quite some time, while simultaneously responding to fan pleas. Over the course of the PS4 era, PlayStation figured out what worked for them, and they built that brand and perception up. Big single-player blockbusters with heavy narrative appeal. And as different as God of War is from The Last of Us, or The Last of Us is from Horizon, or Horizon is from Death Stranding, or Death Stranding from Ghost of Tsushima, they do all share that common ground. So then, where do games that don't share that aesthetic fit in? Well, up until now, it's been mostly nowhere. Certainly not anywhere with a sizable premium budget. But now, with Astro Bot announced and it even being priced at $60, it's clear that PlayStation is taking the gamble. PlayStation saying, people say they want a full Astro game. People say they'll buy it. Fine. Fuck it, give it to them. Let's see if they actually fucking buy it. And so that's where we are. This is what will determine the turning point. Because as players, if we don't show up for this game, if we don't put our money where our mouths are, we are going to lose voting power with PlayStation. Because gamers often already don't know what they actually want. Half the time, players beg for things, and when they show up, no one buys them and they fail. But that's only like half the time. So half of the time, PlayStation and other studios just assume what we want despite what we tell them, and I wish I could say they were wrong for doing it, but it kind of makes sense given that sometimes gamers do not put their money where their mouth is, they do not vote with their wallet, and here with Astro Bot, here is a prime chance for us, the consumer, to earn voting power and make our words mean a little bit more, as well as possibly determine the direction of PlayStation's future to a degree. Because if this works, if Astro Bot, a game that does not fit PlayStation's typical aesthetic and really more so harkens back to the PS3 era, if that works and if that is successful, then why wouldn't PlayStation do more? Not just more Astro Bot, but more branching out, branching into even more genres, maybe even more risky and creative games. We can't be 100% certain right now that that's what's going to happen if we buy Astro Bot, but I do think that Astro Bot could set that stage. But only if we, the players, actually show up and buy it. If not, then I don't think we'll have any room to complain or anyone to blame but ourselves when in the future PlayStation refuses to indulge more arcade-like or riskier releases. When we're in a future where PlayStation still refuses to attempt to bring back Resistance or Killzone or Sly Cooper, even though we keep begging. It'll be our own fault that those things aren't happening, and when we ask why they won't just do what everyone's asking for, we'll have to look back at the failure of Astro Bot and remember that it was our fault. So, don't let that happen is what I'm saying. PlayStation has put a Super Mario-sized budget into a Super Mario-esque game. That's not something that PlayStation does. That's not something they typically do. This is a fucking gamble, and it's something we said we wanted. And I'm a little bit worried. Even though there was excitement online when Astro Bot was announced and the sentiment surrounding the game is largely positive, 3D platforming in 2024 is not a genre people flock to unless it is the almighty Super Mario. There are some random indie 3D platformers that do well enough, but they are far from enormous must-play hits. However, one could argue that that's only the case because Nintendo are the only ones who will put a huge budget into this type of game nowadays. So what happens when someone else does it? Well, that's for us to decide. And I really do hope that this isn't one of those situations where people are asking for things that they don't actually want. Because I begged for Astro Bot, and I meant it. I'm 100% buying this game. But does everyone else who asked for this game feel the same way? I hope so. I think if this game is a hit, it'll lead to a lot of good things to come from PlayStation down the line. Maybe I'm looking at it too deeply. I mean, honestly, probably I am. But these are my thoughts. Let me know what you think down in the comments. If you have a PS5, let me know if you plan on buying Astro Bot. And if you aren't planning on buying Astro Bot, change your fucking mind. No, I'm kidding. But okay, I think I'm done here. Thanks for watching. Once again, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. I appreciate it a lot. But alright, until next time, I am Waifu Belector. I am just a normal guy. I like hentai, and I'm gonna go pre-order Astro Bot right now. Goodbye.